In today's screencast, we're going to talk about how to start your research process, and essentially you need to start by finding sources. My first step is often finding a lot of sources and then sifting through them later. That's my process. You might be a little more diligent and slow down and sift them piece by piece. But I'm going to show you my process if I was going to be doing a research project. So you all have preliminary research questions that you came up with Sunday, a direction, a place to start. If I was going to be doing a research project right now, which I kind of am, it would be to find out how to make online teaching more effective. That's something I'm interested in and something I want to look into. So, I am going to click out of this because this is not what I want. I'm going to go to the library. If I didn't know anything about online teaching and I wanted a basic context or background, I might start at Wikipedia just to learn about the topic, but I know about this a fair bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just go with the general term. It's got online teaching. I will search it. And we come up with, we've got, as you saw, we've got 284 sources plus more than that. Which is quite a bit, but I want to just scroll through and see what we have here. We've got some online teaching at its best, some ebooks, merging instructional design with teaching and learning research. That sounds interesting to me. Evaluating online teaching, maybe not. This one is focusing on health and human services. That's probably not as relevant to me. The online teaching survival guide, that one sounds interesting, and it is a book. I could go and pick it up at the library and hold it in my hand. It would be a real book. And then there's a whole bunch of articles. As we saw in the videos and in our visit, there's these filters over here that can help us narrow down some of these results. So it's kind of half cut off, but you can still see it. I may want to say, all right, so I want academic journals because your annotated bibliography and your lit review must be academic journals. So an academic source it's written by an expert and it has a lot of research to back it up. It's well researched. Those are the criteria for an academic source. And you can also do, for this, we could do trade publications as well. That will both work. Government publications also are good academic sources. So, looking here, just this first one grabs my attention: culturally responsive teaching, knowledge, and practices of online faculty. That is something I would be interested in. I can click here and see the abstract. Cultural differences between faculty and their students can create important challenges that affect the quality and efficacy of online teaching and learning. I would read the whole abstract and decide, all right, so that grabs my attention. Let me click on that and see what it is. I might read the whole thing because this is more of an extensive abstract. And I also want to look at the descriptors. The benefit of these descriptors is that they can potentially give you more search terms. Sometimes when you're looking for research, one of the hardest things is that you don't have the precise search term you need. So you can use these descriptors to help you find more leads on research. Another thing you can think about, this journal is called Online Learning. That sounds like something that would be interesting for me to read if my topic is online learning. So I might want to click on that too. I can go PDF full text and I can get to this text right now. But because I'm still just gathering, I want to email it to myself. So I'll click on the email and I will write in my email address. I've already actually emailed this to myself, so I'm not going to fill it out. But one thing I do want to point out, always use the citation format. We're using APA. This will include the citation in the email that you get. It's probably not correct, but it's a place to start. So I would send that to myself, and then I would have that. So let's go back into this, and let's look real quick. I did actually send this to myself earlier. This is the email that I got from them. I put in the subject line, and here's the PDF. And you can see right here, we've got the, this is the citation. I can tell you right now that it's not correct because of these capitalization. APA is very particular about how they capitalize titles of articles, so this should not be capitalized. It should only be the C in this capitalized. And then the other thing we're missing is either the DOI or the retrieved from. And we'll look for something with the DOI in a little bit. But if you don't have a DOI, as this one seems to not have, then what you would do is you would write retrieved from after that, and then you would go and you'd go to the PDF full text. I have to log in, which takes a second. And then I would grab the URL from up here, and I would copy and paste it, and then I would paste that at the end of my citation. So that is how you would do that. Let's see if there's if the DOI is here. It is not here. Yeah, so this one doesn't have a DOI. But in that case, you use the retrieve from. Alright, so I've got one source. I've emailed it to myself. I want to keep looking. So, professional learning, collaborative model, that doesn't really grab my attention, but this one does. So, comparison of video formats for online teaching. It's an academic journal. That's what I need. So I'm going to click on it. And this is the use of video to develop content to students online has become increasingly popular. However, educators are often plagued with the question of which format to use to deliver asynchronous video material. Whether it is a college or university committing to a common video format, or an individual instructor selecting the method that works best for his or her course, this research presents a comparison of video formats. So this is a comparison of different video formats. They're probably going to tell me what works best in which situations, which sounds very interesting to me. I would like to have that. I would like to look at that. So I want to, well, we don't have the PDF full file, but as we learned earlier, you can request through ILL. So I'm going to do that. And it's got all that filled in for me, and I will submit request. Okay, so they're going to send that to me in the next couple days, and that'll be wonderful, because that will probably be an interesting read. I'm going to just keep going back. Oh, I need to go here. Yes. Alright, so I told you about these descriptors before, and I want to check and see if there's anything else I'm interested in. So, we've got video technology, technology use in education. That sounds interesting to me. So I'm going to click on that. And eventually it'll go somewhere. Here we go. And if you'll notice, our filters have unclicked. So I'm going to go back and say I want academic journals, and let's see what we have. So perceptions and use of learning management system tools and other technologies in higher ed, that doesn't really appeal to me so much. Professional learning, grade 6, not grade 6, we're not doing phys ed. Math, so this suggests I should probably clarify my search a little bit more. And I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to go higher ed. And you'll notice that the search terms will often pop up, so you can just click on that. And let's see what we get now. Alright, we've got that first one again, cross-sectional study, enriching higher education with social media. That sounds like it might be interesting. I might come back to that. Digital learning in higher education, a training course for teaching online in Portugal. I don't know if Portugal is where I want to look. Oh, but here's another video one. Changing role of educational video in higher distance education. So, that sounds like something I might be interested in. And so this article argues that the ongoing usage of audio video media is falling behind in terms of educational quality compared to prior achievement in the history of distance education. After reviewing some important steps and experiences of audiovisual digital media development, we analyzed predominant presentation formats on the web. So just from the start, this seems interesting to me. I want to get this one too. Something I want to note, though, is they're not calling it online education. They're calling it distance education. And that's another term I've just discovered for online learning, right? Online teaching. Another thing that people call it is distance education. So this could help me clarify my search terms even more as I do my search. So, does this one have a DOI? I'm not seeing it. And this is also one that I would have to request through ILL. So I'll do that real quick. Maybe. There we go. So, and now you can see I have two, and they're both written by the same author, which is interesting. Actually, that's because they're the same one. So I'll have to figure that out later. Let's go back here. So you can see that through my search, I've started narrowing my topics. The things with video, that's what's standing out to me. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to go back here and just say, I'm not doing just how to make online teaching more effective. I am looking at how I can use video effectively in an online course or distance learning or distance education course. So I've narrowed my topic a bit. I've found some sources. I've got a place to start. And that is a good first step to your research process.